So example 5 says factor b squared minus 25. So this is a continuation of yesterday's notes. If you're absent, you can take the notes later. They're all on video. Right now we're in example 5. We left off with example 4 from the video notes yesterday. Here we go. B squared minus 25. First factoring technique I showed you was GCF. Can I use GCF weapon? No, there's no common factor. Trinomial, these two, I know I'm not going to use because it's not a trinomial. It's only a binomial. So last but not least, let's try difference of two squares. A squared minus b squared is always going to factor into a plus b times a minus b. That's just the nature of the beast. Here we go. Let's rewrite it as a squared minus b squared. The first thing I'm going to do is rewrite the expression as a squared minus b squared. In this case, b squared minus 5 squared for rocking and rolling. Now I know what my a and b are. I'm looking at this pattern here. My a and my b. Here's my a and here's my b. So now let me write my two binomials just like warm-up. A plus b, a minus b. There's our factors, ladies and gents. There's our factors. We'll write that down. There I go. Let's put it down right now. That was kind of scary. B plus 5 times B minus 5. Medina, I don't want to move your desk. She's not teaching, I'm teaching, so right over here.
Me?
Yeah, I don't want to move your desk. I didn't say you're talking, I'm over here teaching. Choose the battles, please. Please. Here we go, here we go. So here's our factors. We know we're done. When we have our two binomials, we're done, huh? Here we go. Example 6. 9a squared minus 25. Write that one down while I answer this phone. So there's no common factors, no GCF method here. These are not trinomials, so I'm not going to use my trinomial method. I'm going to go straight to difference of two squares. Difference of two squares. Here's my pattern. Let me bring it down. Let me rewrite the expression as a squared minus b squared. In this case, watch this now. Look what I do. I'm setting it up as a squared minus b squared. In this case, 3a squared minus 5 squared. Now I know what my a and b are. I'm ready to rock and roll. Medina, you like rock and roll?
No.
Here we go. I know what my a and b are. Let's put our binomials here. Hit it, Jones. You're the man. Look at this. Here it is. If you ever want to check your work, knock yourself out, but there's no need. These are the factors. 3a plus 5, 3a minus 5. Good job, Jones.
Does it matter if it's like switch?
Thought is real quick. This thought is asked if the plus and the minus, if it's switched, does it matter? It does not because you're multiplying. It doesn't matter where it goes which if you're multiplying stuff. Good question. I knew some other people were afraid to ask that. Good. Commutable.
Oh, wow.
Commutative, bro. Yeah.
What's the associate?
You can move around parentheses. Good. You can associate things differently.
That's like a math company.
Example 7. Let's factor 36b squared minus 64. 36v squared minus 64. Yeah. Is it what for? Would 4 fit into 64 and 36?
Yeah.
It does, huh? Let's see. 4 fits into 36 how many times?
8. No. 9.
Exactly. So look at, we can do GCF here. Let's take out a 4. And so I'll have 9b squared minus, I think it's 16 times 4 is 64 if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
There it is. Look what I got, ladies and gents. I took out a GCF. Good looking, Mr. Torres. At this point, I'm looking at the binomial in parentheses and ignoring the 4 factor. Let's ignore the 4 for a little bit and look at the 9b squared minus 16 and ask ourselves, self, does that look like difference of 2 squares? Does that look like a difference of 2 squares, class? Inside parentheses only. Is that an a squared minus b squared situation? It is. I can rewrite this as a squared minus b squared. Watch. Watch the master. 9b squared I can write as 3b to the second power. And the 16 I can rewrite as 4 to the second power. Let's not forget this 4 outside though. That's going to come down to our final answer as part of the factors. Okay, here's a squared minus b squared. I'm going to follow my pattern now. Here we go. A squared minus b squared becomes a plus b times a minus b. My a is 3v. My b is 4. So 3v plus 4. 3v minus 4. We're rocking and rolling. Don't forget the 4 monomial in the end. That comes to our final factorization. And here's our factors now. Good looking out, Mr. Torres. You got the GCF first. So here I use 2 methods. I use the GCF method and the difference of 2 squares method to factor the expression. You're the man, Torres. You mean multiply right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll multiply the 4 by the 3 and here, and then whatever that is, I'll multiply that by 3b minus 4. I would get 36b squared minus 64.
So the formula is the distribute or multiply by the first 2?
Right, no, for this binomial, yes. And then whatever that result is, that result I'll put in parentheses and multiply by here. It'll come back to this. Test it if you doubt me. You never doubt me, do you?
Just once in a while. Yeah.
Miss Torres, you actually doubt me right now then?
I got the Dodgers. Yeah,
Example 8. Here's example 8. Hit it. 4p squared minus 9. 4p squared minus 9. Is there a GCF?
Yeah.
Is there a number that fits into 4 and 9? No. So GCF is out the door. Difference of 2 squares. Here we go. Let me get my pattern. I put it in red. The pattern's in red here. Let's rewrite the expression as a squared minus b squared using Dodger Blue since I'll win next year.
Extra sound for everyone because we laugh.
It's on YouTube too. I got the whole crowd laughing. Who's that out there? 2p squared minus 3 squared. Look at here's my a and b. I identified my a and b. A squared minus b squared. We're ready to rock and roll. We're ready to rock and roll. Here we go. Let me get my binomials ready. Nice! Mr. Torres, did it. Times.
2p minus 3.
We're rocking and rolling. All Mr. Munguia is doing is just showing you a technique of factoring. Nothing more, nothing less. Let's get over it. Relax, okay? All I'm doing is giving you a technique. Difference of 2 squares. That's it. Last example. Not. Second last example. 125x squared minus 45. On the way, Jonas. Here we go. Oh, sorry. Please forgive me.
He's on Instagram.
GCF. Is there GCFs?
Yes.
Hit it. Read this. What we got? Nice. Look at this. I can take out a 5 from the first term and from the second term. Look at what's left over. Think of the first assignment we did in here 3 weeks ago. This will be 25x squared, because 5 times 25 becomes 125. And then 5 times a negative 9 will become a 45. We're rocking and rolling. Now we ask ourselves, self, can I use a difference of two squares pattern?
No, if you go low, can I go lower?
Let's see. Is there another factor, in other words? No. I like the question. Good question, Ms. Torres. There is not, though. The question now, though, is can it follow a difference of two squares pattern, a squared minus b squared? We got that going on here. Do we have something like this going on inside the binomial only?
That's why we can make it small.
Right, you're right. What go on the first one, Ms. Torres?
Minus
5 what?
X.
Rocking and rolling.
3.
And 3, why did I put 3 third power? Is that coffee time from Ogia?
You need a bigger cup.
Bigger shot glass.
All right. A squared minus b squared. Here's my pattern. Let me get my two binomials so we can rock and roll. Right, Sankofa?
Yeah.
I got my A, I got my B. 5x plus 3. 5x minus 3. We're rocking and rolling. Look at, I'm including the greatest common factor from the previous step. That's all part of my final factorization, right, Ms. Sanchez? And we're done. Last but not least, extra 2 stamps for to do number 10. I'll give you 2 minutes to try it. Extra stamps. Go ahead. Yes, I'm going to check it right now. I'll give you 3 minutes, extra stamps, so you can solve this one. Here, try it.
It's because I have to put the exponent. I put X.
All right. I'll write it. You explain it, Miss.
You see what I put?
All right, Miss Dotis. Miss Dotis, tell me what I do first. What you do first? What technique did you use?
Huh?
What technique did you use first?
GF or something like that. GCF.
The GCF. Greatest common factor she took out between these two are 5. Watch this, you guys. 5 times x squared minus 1. And so that's where you were, Jones, right here. Now, Mendoza, check it out. Watch this. At this point, is this a difference of two squares? In other words, is this a squared minus b squared situation right here? Is that situation? Right here. Is that situation?
No, why are you laughing?
Is that or not? Besides, Mendoza, here we go. Is this situation like that? Is the question. It is. Look at. Watch. Look at how I'm going to rewrite this as a squared minus b squared. X squared minus 1 squared. I'll bring on the 5. That's going to be my final answer. But right now I'm ignoring the 5. Watch. A squared minus b squared. Look at 1 to the second power becomes 1. 1 to the second power is 1. So I have the a squared minus b squared pattern. We're ready to rock and roll. Watch. Look at my binomials. X plus 1, x minus 1, and I'll bring down the 5. We're rocking and rolling.
Oh, man.
Miss Doris got the extra 4 stamps. Not bad. Who said that?